I'm typing this from the floor of my walk-in closet. The door is locked. My hands are shaking so bad that I've had to correct almost every other word. God, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I need to get this out because if I don't tell someone, even strangers on the internet, I think I might actually have a psychotic break. Let's set the stage. I'm 29, female. My husband, let's call him Mark, is 32. We've been married for 4 years, together for 7. He's always been my rock, the steady one, the one who pulls me back when my family drives me up the wall. Or so I thought. Then there's my sister. Bella! She's 26. Bella is perfect. She's the baby, the golden child. If you know, you know. Growing up, if I had a toy, Bella wanted it, and my parents made me give it to her. Be the bigger person, my mom would say. She's little, don't be selfish. That dynamic never stopped. When I graduated college, Bella made a scene at my dinner because her boyfriend broke up with her, and my parents spent the whole night comforting her while I ate my celebration cake in silence. When I bought my first house, Bella needed a place to stay just for a few weeks because of a mold issue in her apartment. She stayed 4 months. And Mark always hated it. Or he acted like he did. He'd hold me while I cried after my mom canceled plans with me to go shopping with Bella. He'd tell me, "Babe, they don't deserve you. You're the strong one. We're a team. Just us. Just us." Here is what happened. Last Thursday, Mark had to fly to Chicago for a tech conference. He does this maybe twice a year. Standard stuff. He hates traveling, usually complains about the hotel pillows, texts me 50 times a day. Coincidentally, and yes, I feel like the stupidest woman alive for not connecting these dots sooner, Bella went off-grid for a camping trip with some new friends the same weekend. My mom made a big deal about it, saying, "Oh, leave poor Bella alone. She needs a digital detox. Don't text her. Let her heal from her stress." Her stress being, she got a speeding ticket. Mark came home about 3 hours ago. He looked tired. He gave me a huge hug. He smelled like airplane coffee and that specific cologne I bought him for our anniversary. He kissed my forehead, dropped his bag in the bedroom, and hopped in the shower. He shouted out, "Hey honey, can you throw my travel clothes in the wash? I spilled sauce on my blue shirt." I'm a creature of habit. I don't just dump the bag. I empty the pockets first because he always leaves receipts or gum wrappers in there. I unzipped his leather weekender bag. It's the one I got him for Christmas. I pulled out the blue shirt, checked the pockets. Nothing. I pulled out his slacks. Nothing. Then I reached into the small, zippered interior pocket. Usually, he puts his watch or cufflinks in there so they don't get scratched. My fingers brushed against something small and cold. Not a cufflink. It felt sharp. I pulled it out. It was a pearl earring. Not just any pearl earring. 2 years ago, our grandmother passed away. She left her jewelry to be split between us. Bella threw a massive tantrum because she wanted the sapphire ring that Grandma specifically left to me. To keep the peace, because that's what I always do, I'm the doormat, I gave Bella the ring. In exchange, my dad felt guilty and paid a jeweler to make custom earrings for both of us using loose pearls from Grandma's broken necklace. Mine are studs. Bella's are distinct. They are drop pearls with a tiny gold filigree leaf wrapping around the top. One of a kind. Custom. Unmistakable. I was holding Bella's earring. The room started spinning. I literally sat down hard on the bed because my knees gave out. I stared at it. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe she lost it in his car? No. Bella hasn't been in Mark's car in 6 months. They took an Uber to the last family dinner. Maybe it got stuck to his clothes at the house? Bella hasn't been to our house in 3 weeks. And Mark hasn't used this travel bag since his last trip 2 months ago. Maybe I'm crazy? I stood up, walked to the bathroom door, and listened. The shower was running. He was humming a stupid classic rock song. I walked back to the bag. I felt sick, like bile rising in my throat sick. I dug deeper. I took his toiletry bag out. I unzipped the bottom compartment where he keeps his razor. And there it was, a receipt. Not for a hotel in Chicago. It was for a room service order. 2 burgers, a bottle of Pinot Noir, Bella's favorite wine, Mark only drinks beer, and a slice of cheesecake. The location at the top of the receipt wasn't Chicago. It was a resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Date: last Saturday. He wasn't at a conference. He was at a resort with someone who drinks Pinot Noir, and he had my sister's earring in his bag. I grabbed my phone. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped it twice. I texted Bella. "Hey, Mom said you're back from camping. Did you have fun?" I waited. The bubbles appeared. "Yeah, it was so chill. Just nature and vibes. Why?" I texted back. "I'm looking for my pearl studs. I think I misplaced them. Are you wearing your drop ones? I wanted to see if maybe I accidentally put mine in your box when you were here last." It was a bait. A clumsy, desperate bait. She replied, "Oh, weird. No, I actually can't find one of mine. I think I lost it on the trail this weekend. I was gonna tell Mom, but she'll freak out. Don't tell her." She lost it on the trail. On the trail? In Lake Geneva? In my husband's hotel room? I put the earring in my pocket. I put the receipt in my pocket. I zipped the bag back up. I threw the blue shirt in the hamper. I walked into the closet and locked the door. He's out of the shower now. I can hear him. "Babe, where'd you go?" He sounds so normal, so happy. He slept with my sister, my golden child sister who has taken everything from me my entire life. My parents enable her, I enable her, and now she's taken my husband. I don't know what to do. If I walk out there, I'm going to scream. I'm going to kill him. But if I scream now, he'll lie. He'll gaslight me. He'll say he found it and was meaning to give it back. He'll say the receipt was for a client. He's in sales. He can sell ice to a polar bear. I need to be smarter than them. Just for once in my life, I need to not be the doormat. I'm not going to confront him tonight. I'm going to pretend I have a migraine. And while he sleeps, I'm going to destroy his life. I need advice. How do I get more proof? Concrete proof. Because if I accuse Bella, my parents will say I'm jealous. They will say I'm making it up to ruin her happiness. I need something undeniable. Please help me. Time passed since last post, 3 days. I haven't slept in 72 hours. I think I'm running entirely on caffeine and pure distilled hatred. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented. The advice to hold my cards close saved me. Sunday night, I wanted to run out of that closet and scream until my throat bled. Instead, I flushed my face with cold water, unlocked the door, and walked into the bedroom holding my head. "Mark," I whispered, "I think I'm getting one of my ocular migraines. I can't see straight." He was sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling on his phone. He looked up, his face full of that concern that used to make me feel so safe. "Oh no, babe. Do you want the ice roller? Or the heavy meds?" I looked at him. I looked at the hands that had been on my sister 2 days ago. "Meds," I said. "I just need to pass out." I took a sleeping pill, not because I needed to fake it, but because I knew if I was awake lying next to him, I might actually smother him with a pillow. I slept, like the dead. Monday morning. Mark left for work at 7:30 a.m. The second his Audi pulled out of the driveway, I was a whirlwind. I called in sick to work. I told them I had food poisoning. Then, I went to work on him. I remembered something crucial. About 6 months ago, Mark upgraded to the new iPhone. He gave his old iPad to us to use as a kitchen tablet for recipes, but we never really set it up. It was sitting in the junk drawer, dead. I plugged it in. I held my breath. It turned on. It asked for a passcode. I tried his birthday. Incorrect. I tried our anniversary. Incorrect. I tried Bella's birthday. It unlocked. He hadn't wiped it. He had just logged out of his main apps. But he forgot that iMessage archives to the cloud if you don't turn off the sync specifically on the device. And it started downloading. Ping, ping, ping. Messages from the weekend. But not from Bella. From a contact saved as scam likely. I sat on the kitchen floor, cold tiles against my legs, and I read. I read 6 months of my life being dismantled. It wasn't a one-time thing. It's been going on since Christmas. Here are some of the things my husband and my sister said to each other while I was sitting in the next room. December 26th. Bella. God, she's so pathetic. Did you see her crying over the gravy? It's too salty, boo-hoo. She tries so hard, it's embarrassing. Mark. I know. It's exhausting. I just wanted to leave and get a drink with you. You looked incredible in that red dress, B. Trouble. February 14th, Valentine's Day. I got flowers and a card. Mark, to Bella. Obligatory flowers sent. Can't wait to see you Tuesday. I ordered that lingerie you liked. Bella. Good boy. Make sure you scrub the perfume off before you go home to the Dowager Countess. That's their nickname for me. The Dowager Countess. Because I'm old and boring at 29. And then, the text from last weekend. Bella. Lake Geneva was a risk, LOL. What if someone saw us? Mark. No one saw us. And if they did, who cares? I'm mentally exhausted from the conference, remember? I deserve a break. Bella. I lost my earring, though. Shit. Mark. I'll check the bag. Don't panic. She never checks my bag. She trusts me too much. She never checks my bag. I screenshotted everything. Every photo. Every nude she sent him. Taken in my childhood bedroom, by the way. Every timestamp. I airdropped them to my phone. I emailed them to a secret Proton Mail account I just made. I printed 2 physical copies at the library 3 towns over. I have a folder now. It's thick. But here is where it gets complicated. My mother called me yesterday. Oh, P, we're having a big family barbecue on Saturday. Mark is back. Bella is back from her camping trip. Everyone is together. Dad's grilling steaks. A family barbecue. The perfect venue. If I do this legally, quietly, they will spin the narrative. Mark will tell people I'm crazy. Bella will cry and say I'm jealous and that I made it up. My parents will try to mediate and hush it up to protect their image. No, I need witnesses. I need my aunt who gossips. I need my cousins who hate Bella. I need the neighbors. So I said, sure, Mom, we'll be there. Tonight was the hardest part. Bella came over. She needed to borrow my steamer for a dress. She walked into my house, smiled at me, and hugged me. She smelled like vanilla. She looked me in the eye and said, "You look tired, sis. You really need to take better care of yourself. Mark says you've been stressed." My hands were clenched so hard behind my back my fingernails cut my palms. I smiled back, a dead, shark smile. "I've just been thinking a lot, Bella," I said. "Doing a lot of deep cleaning, finding things I thought were lost." Her eye twitched, just a fraction. "Oh?" she said. "Like what?" "Just old memories," I said. "Here's the steamer." I watched her leave. Mark came home an hour later. He tried to kiss me. I turned my head so he got my cheek. "Still feeling sick?" he asked. "Yeah," I lied. "Stomach bug. I think it's contagious. You should sleep in the guest room tonight. I don't want you to catch it before the barbecue." He looked relieved. He actually looked relieved he didn't have to sleep with me. "Good call, babe. Rest up. We want you in top form for Saturday." "Oh, don't worry, Mark. I will be in top form. I have the printer ink. I have the screenshots. And I have one more thing. I went to the jewelry store today. I spoke to the man who made the custom earrings for my dad. I asked him if he kept records of his custom designs. He did. He printed me a certificate of authenticity with a photo of the golden leaf drop pearl commissioned for Bella. And I have the earring in a plastic baggie in my purse. Saturday is in 2 days. I'm not just going to divorce him. I'm going to make sure that when the dust settles, there is nowhere for them to hide. I am terrified. I am shaking. But I am not crying anymore. See you after the barbecue. Time passed since last update. 2 weeks. I started smoking again. I quit 5 years ago, but honestly, my lungs are the least of my problems right now. I'm currently staying at an Airbnb 3 towns over. My house, the house I bought, the house I decorated, is currently a crime scene. Well, not a literal one, but the police have been there twice. Everything is gone. My marriage, my relationship with my sister, my relationship with my parents. It burned down, and I was the one who lit the match. Here is exactly what happened at the barbecue. Saturday was humid, oppressively hot. The kind of heat that makes your clothes stick to your back. I wore a linen dress. I looked calm. Inside, my heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. We arrived at my parents' house around 1 p.m. Mark drove. He held my hand in the car. He talked about refinishing the deck. "You're never going to step foot on that deck again, you son of a bitch." When we walked into the backyard, it was picture perfect. Dad was at the grill, flipping burgers. Mom was arranging coleslaw. And there was Bella. She was wearing a white sundress. She looked angelic. She was laughing, holding a glass of sangria. When she saw Mark, her eyes lit up. Just for a second. A micro expression. Then she saw me. "OP!" she squealed. She ran over for a hug. I stepped back. Just one step. "Hey," I said. My voice was flat. Cold. She faltered. "Is your stomach still hurting?" Something like that. We ate. I sat across from them. I watched Mark cut Bella's steak for her because her knife was dull. I watched Bella wipe a crumb off Mark's lip with her thumb. My mother watched it too. She smiled. "You two are so close. It's so nice to see family getting along." I put my fork down. The sound was loud. Everyone looked at me. "Actually," I said, standing up, "I have a surprise." Mark smiled, nervous. "Babe, what surprise?" I reached into my tote bag. I pulled out 5 heavy manila envelopes. I didn't just hand them out. I tossed them onto the center of the picnic table. They landed with a heavy thud next to the potato salad. "I've been doing some reading," I said. My voice wasn't shaking anymore. It was steel. And I thought, since we're all family, we should all be on the same page. Bella reached for one first. "What is this? A game?" She opened it. I watched her face. I saw the exact moment the blood drained from her cheeks. She turned pasty, gray-white. "What?" she choked out. Mark grabbed one. He ripped it open. His eyes scanned the first page, the text logs from December. He looked up at me. His eyes were wide, terrifyingly empty. "OP, wait! Stop! We can explain. This is out of context." "Out of context?" I laughed. It sounded manic. "Turn to page 4, Mark. The one where you tell my sister you want to, and I quote, bend her over the sink in the house I pay for." My dad picked up the papers. He put on his reading glasses. Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. The only sound was the sizzling of the grill behind us. Then, the explosion. Bella slammed her hands on the table. "You snooped through his phone? You psycho! You violated our privacy." "Your privacy?" I screamed back. "You're sleeping with my husband. You were in a hotel in Lake Geneva last weekend while I was washing his dirty laundry." I reached into my pocket. I pulled out the plastic baggie, the custom drop pearl earring. I threw it at her. It hit her in the chest and bounced onto the grass. "You lost this," I spat. "Found it in Mark's travel bag." Right next to the room service receipt for 2. My mother stood up. She looked from Bella to me, and then, God, I knew it would happen, but it still broke me. She looked at me with pure disgust. "OP, how could you do this here? In front of the neighbors? You are making a scene. Look at your sister, she's crying." "She's crying because she got caught, Mom," I yelled. "She is a child," my mother shrieked. "She made a mistake. You are the older sister. You are supposed to protect her, not humiliate her." Mark stood up and tried to grab my arm. "Baby, please, let's go home. You're not well. We need to talk about this privately." I recoiled. "Don't touch me. Do not touch me. I'm your husband." "Not for long." I looked at my dad. He hadn't said a word. He was just staring at the photo of Bella sending a nude to Mark. "Dad?" I asked. He looked up. He looked old. He crumpled the papers in his hand. He looked at Mark. "Get out." "Dad, wait," Mark started. "Get off my property." Dad stood up. He grabbed the steak knife from the platter. "Now." Mark ran. He actually ran to the car. Bella was sobbing on the ground, hyperventilating. Mom was cradling her, whispering, "Shh, it's okay, we'll fix it. She's just jealous." I looked at them, my mother holding the woman who destroyed my life. "I'm done," I said. "Don't contact me, any of you." I walked to my car. I had the keys. Mark was standing by the passenger door of his Audi, banging on the window, realizing I had the keys to my car, and he had left his keys on the picnic table. I got in. I locked the doors. He pounded on the glass. "OP, open the door! You can't leave me here!" I revved the engine. I drove away. I saw him in the rearview mirror kicking the tire of his car. That same night, I went home. I knew I had about an hour before Mark took an Uber. I packed. I took the safe. I took my jewelry. I took the hard drive with our wedding photos, so I could delete them later. I took the dog. I called a locksmith I had booked 2 days prior. He was there in 20 minutes. We changed the locks on the front and back doors. When Mark arrived, I was sitting on the front porch with a glass of wine. The door was locked. His key didn't work. He lost it. He started kicking the door, screaming, "Open this goddamn door, it's my house too!" "Actually," I shouted through the wood, "it's in my name. You just pay the utilities. Check the deed, asshole." He picked up a porch chair and threw it through the front window. That's when I called 911. The police arrived in 5 minutes. They found him trying to climb through the broken window, bleeding from a cut on his arm, screaming that I was a vindictive bitch. Because he was intoxicated, he'd been drinking at the BBQ, and because he destroyed property and had a weapon, a shard of glass, they cuffed him. I stood on the lawn and watched. The neighbors were all out. Mrs. Higgins from next door looked at me. I shrugged. Mark was shoved into the back of a squad car. He looked at me through the window. He looked like a stranger. My phone has blown up. 30 missed calls from Mom, 50 texts from Bella. "You ruined everything. I hope you're happy. He never loved you anyway." My lawyer served Mark the papers in jail the next morning. I filed for divorce on grounds of adultery. Thank you, at fault state. I also got a temporary restraining order. But the worst part? My dad called me today. I thought he was going to apologize. He said, "OP, you need to drop the restraining order. It's affecting Mark's job. And if he loses his job, he can't help Bella with her rent. You've made your point. Don't destroy the family." "Destroy the family?" I whispered. "I didn't destroy it, Dad. I just turned on the lights." I hung up. I'm now no contact with all of them. But I have a feeling this isn't over. Bella is posting on social media that I was abusive. She's spinning a narrative. I have one more card to play, and it involves Mark's HR department. Because remember that conference he was supposed to be at? The company paid for his flight to Chicago. He didn't go to Chicago. He committed corporate fraud to take my sister to a resort. I sent the email this morning. Time passed since last update. 1 year and 4 months. I'm sitting on my back deck. The deck my ex-husband promised to refinish for 3 years but never did. It's funny what you can accomplish when you aren't dragging 180 pounds of dead weight around. I sanded it, stained it espresso, and bought entirely new furniture. I'm drinking an iced tea, not Pinot Noir, and definitely not the cheap beer Mark used to leave halfway finished on my coasters. A lot of you have been messaging me, asking for the final chapter. I didn't post for a long time because legal proceedings are slow, exhausting, and honestly, I needed to heal. I needed to stop being the girl whose husband slept with her sister and just be me. But now, the ink is dry, the house is mine, and the dust has settled. Here is the autopsy of my former life. Let's start with Mark. Remember that email I sent to his HR department regarding the corporate card fraud? I didn't expect it to detonate as hard as it did. I thought maybe a slap on the wrist. No, companies do not like it when you expense a $3,000 resort stay, flight credits, and room service for a mistress under the guise of a tech conference. Mark was fired for cause 3 days after I sent the proof. Because he was fired for gross misconduct, he lost his severance. He was blacklisted from the major firms in his industry. In the divorce deposition, his lawyer tried to argue that I had maliciously interfered with his employment. My lawyer, a shark of a woman named Karen, the good kind of Karen, simply slid the receipt across the table. "Your client committed fraud," she said. "My client simply reported a crime. Truth is an absolute defense." Mark is currently working as an entry-level sales associate for a solar panel company. He knocks on doors. I know this because he knocked on my neighbor Mrs. Higgins' door last month. She told him to get off her porch before she released the hounds. She owns a Pomeranian. Now, for Bella, the golden child. After the barbecue, my parents did exactly what I feared. They circled the wagons. They moved Bella into their guest room. When Mark got kicked out of our house, and eventually his own apartment because he couldn't pay rent without his high salary, they moved him in too. Can you imagine? My parents, housing my cheating ex-husband and my sister, playing happy family under one roof. For 6 months, I was no contact, complete radio silence. I blocked their numbers, their emails, their socials. I even changed my locks again just to be safe. I heard through the grapevine, my cool Aunt Stacy, that the Romeo and Juliet romance soured quickly. Apparently, when you build a relationship on sneaking around and mocking your partner, the excitement dies when nobody is stopping you. Mark became resentful because he lost his status. Bella became resentful because Mark couldn't buy her things anymore. Karma is a slow grinder, but it grinds fine. 3 months ago, I got a letter in the mail. It was hand-addressed, my mother's handwriting. I debated burning it. Truly, I stood over the sink with a lighter. But curiosity is a curse. I opened it. "Dearest daughter, we miss you so much. The holidays were so quiet without you. We know mistakes were made on all sides." On all sides. But family is family. Mark and Bella are having a hard time. Mark is struggling with depression since the job loss, and Bella is pregnant. We think it's time to put the past behind us. A baby is a fresh start. You're going to be an aunt. Please, come for Easter. Let's heal. She is pregnant. My sister is pregnant with my ex-husband's child. A year ago, that news would have sent me to the hospital. I would have collapsed. But reading it in my kitchen, standing on my own 2 feet, I felt nothing. Actually, no. I felt relief. Because that baby ties them together forever. Mark is trapped. He is tethered to a woman who demands the world but refuses to work for it. Bella is trapped. She is tethered to a man who resents her for ruining his career and who has a track record of cheating when he gets bored. I didn't reply to the letter. Instead, I took the golden leaf earring, the one I threw at Bella, which my dad had mailed back to me in a pathetic attempt to return my property, and I drove to a pawn shop. I sold it. I got $150 for the gold and pearl. I took that $150 and I donated it to a charity that helps women leave abusive households. And then, I changed my phone number. Where am I now? I'm 30. I got a promotion at work because I wasn't spending my mental energy managing a man-child's ego. I'm dating. Nothing serious, just fun. And I kept the nickname. My friends call me the Countess now. But instead of old and boring, it means imperious, wealthy, and takes no shit. I saw my dad once. I was at the grocery store in the produce aisle picking out avocados. He looked older, grayer. He was pushing a cart full of diapers and cheap beer. He saw me. He froze. He looked at my basket, organic vegetables, a nice bottle of wine, fresh flowers. He looked at his cart of misery. He opened his mouth to say my name. I didn't run away. I didn't scream. I just looked at him, gave him a polite, tight-lipped nod, like you would to a stranger you vaguely recognize, and turned my cart around. I walked away, and I didn't look back. To everyone who told me to leave that night in the closet, you saved my life. To everyone who feels like they are the doormat or the scapegoat, stand up, flip the table, throw the envelopes, burn it down. Because the view from the ashes, it's beautiful, truly beautiful.